If you can't squat down for 30 seconds without feeling stiff, sore, or completely off balance, your body might be aging years faster than you think. Shocking, right? But here's the reality. Most of us spend our days chained to chairs, car seats, and couches. We sit to work, sit to eat, sit to relax, yet wonder why our hips lock up, our backs ache, and even simple movements like tying a shoe feel harder than they should. Now here's the twist. You don't need another expensive gym membership or complicated workout routine. The real secret lies in one of the oldest human postures. We've completely abandoned the deep resting squat. Just a few minutes a day in this position can ease joint pain, restore natural mobility, boost digestion, improve balance, and even support healthy aging. I'll be honest, I thought it sounded way too simple, almost silly, but after committing to 30 days, the results surprised me. Less stiffness in the morning, smoother movements, and a sense of energy I hadn't felt in years. So here's my challenge to you. As you watch this video, try holding a squat. See how long you can last, and drop your number in the comments below. Let's start this journey together. If not being able to squat for 30 seconds means your body is aging faster than it should, then the question becomes clear. What happens if you practice this habit every single day? The very first change I noticed was in my joints. Like many people over 50, I had accepted stiffness and chronic aches as part of getting older. Mornings meant creaky knees, tight hips, and that sharp pinch in the lower back when I bent forward. It felt like my body was slowly rusting, and I know many of you in Canada and the United States feel the same way after decades of sitting at desks, driving long commutes, or lounging on couches. When I began holding a simple resting squat just 5 minutes a day, something surprising happened. At first, my knees popped, my ankles protested, and my hips felt locked, but after a week, the stiffness began to fade. Standing up in the morning didn't feel like a struggle. Climbing stairs no longer came with the same grinding discomfort. My hips felt looser, my knees less swollen, my back less heavy. There's science behind it too. When you drop into a deep squat, your joints are no longer frozen at 90 degrees like they are in a chair. Instead, the movement decompresses the knees, ankles, and hips, encouraging blood flow and lubricating tissues that have been neglected for years. Small stabilizing muscles wake up and begin supporting you again, creating a foundation of mobility that no pill or gadget can replicate. For me, this wasn't rehab. It felt like restoration, a return to how the body was designed to move. And for anyone past 50, especially those who have felt the slow weight of stiffness creeping in, this could be the first real step back toward freedom of movement. After my joints began to loosen and the morning aches started to fade, I realized the squat was doing something even deeper. It wasn't just about reducing pain, it was about bringing my body back to a way of moving that I had almost forgotten. Think about it, for most of human history, people didn't have recliners, ergonomic chairs, or cars with cushioned seats. We ate, rested, worked, and even socialized from a squat. This wasn't exercise, it was simply how the body was designed to function. Modern life has trained us out of this natural posture. We bend at the waist to pick things up and feel a pull in our back. We kneel on one knee to reach the floor because dropping down smoothly feels impossible. Even getting up from the ground often requires using our hands for support. The truth is, our muscles and joints haven't lost their capacity. They've just been reprogrammed by years of chair living. When I started squatting daily, I began noticing little shifts. Reaching for something on the ground no longer felt awkward. Tying my shoes didn't strain my back. Moving in and out of the car felt smoother. What was happening was a reset of my body's original software. The deep squat was reconnecting my brain to core muscles and stabilizers that had gone quiet over decades of inactivity. For those of us over 50, regaining this natural control is powerful. It makes everyday movements, standing, bending, lifting, feel more fluid, less forced. Instead of dreading small tasks, you start to feel capable again, as if your body remembers what it was built to do. And that sense of ease is more than comfort, it's independence regained. As my body began to move more naturally again, I noticed something. I hadn't expected my legs and core were getting stronger without ever stepping into a gym. For years, I thought the only way to build strength was with machines, weights, and structured workouts. But holding a deep squat taught me otherwise. In that low position, every muscle in the lower body comes alive. The quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves, even the small muscles in your feet. They work together to keep you balanced and upright, firing constantly in a quiet, steady effort. This isn't the same as doing heavy reps or lifting barbells. It's isometric strength. Your muscles engage continuously instead of in bursts. And for anyone over 50, that kind of strength matters more than sheer power. It translates directly into everyday life. walking longer without fatigue, climbing stairs with ease, standing for extended periods without your back or knees begging for relief. It's the kind of inner strength that doesn't just look good, it feels like stability, safety, and energy returning to your body. The best part is that you don't need equipment, a membership, or even a large space. Just your body, a little floor room, and a few minutes a day. Whether you're in a small apartment in Toronto or a quiet house in Texas, this simple posture is accessible to everyone. So here's a challenge for you as you watch Drop into a Squat right now. Hold it for 20 seconds, then 30. Feel how your legs and core start to shake. That's strength being built from the inside out. Comment below how long you lasted. You'll be surprised at how quickly those seconds turn into minutes and how those minutes turn into real lasting power. After realizing that real strength could be built without a gym, I started noticing another unexpected change. My digestion felt lighter, smoother, and far less sluggish. At first I thought it was just coincidence, but the more I practiced the squat daily, the clearer it became. The posture wasn't only training my muscles, it was influencing how my body processed food and energy. For decades, sitting in chairs has compressed our abdomens and bent our digestive system into awkward angles. That's why so many people over 50 struggle with bloating, constipation, or that heavy feeling after meals. In a deep squat, everything shifts. The hips open, the torso lengthens, and the abdomen gently compresses and releases with each breath. This natural position creates pressure and alignment that help the intestines do their job more efficiently. It's the same reason many cultures still use squatting as the natural position for elimination. It's simply how the body was designed to function. Personally, I began to feel less discomfort after eating. Instead of that sluggish, weighed down sensation in the evening, I felt lighter and more energized. Even my posture after meals improved. I wasn't slouching in a chair, but standing straighter, moving more easily. These small changes added up to a daily sense of relief I hadn't felt in years. For anyone in the United States or Canada over 50 who knows the frustration of digestive issues, this could be one of the simplest and most surprising benefits of all. You don't need supplements, fancy diets, or expensive treatments. Just a few minutes in a squat each day can give your body the gentle reset it's been waiting for, turning something as ordinary as digestion into a source of comfort and vitality again. Feeling lighter and less sluggish after meals was already a major win, but the benefits didn't stop there. As I kept practicing the squat each day, I began to notice something even more valuable for life after 50. My balance was improving. For years, I had been cautious about quick turns, uneven sidewalks, or even standing on one foot to put on socks. Like many people my age, I worried about falling because a simple slip could mean months of recovery. But the squat was quietly retraining my body to trust itself again. When you're in a deep squat, your ankles, knees, hips, and core all have to coordinate just to keep you steady. It's not about lifting heavy weights or pushing limits. It's about teaching your body to stay aligned under its own pressure. Over time, this translated into daily life. Walking on gravel no longer felt risky. Getting out of the bathtub was smoother. Even standing still felt sturdier, as if my feet were rooted more firmly to the ground. The science supports this too. Balance depends on stability in the joints, mobility in the ankles, strength in the core, and awareness of body position. The squat trains all of these at once. For those of us in Canada or the United States, navigating icy winters, uneven paths, or simply wanting to stay independent as we age, this is not just helpful, it's essential. What surprised me most was how quickly the change came. Within a couple of weeks, I wasn't just moving more confidently, I was moving without fear. And when you remove fear from movement, you get back freedom. That freedom, the ability to stand tall, walk steady, and trust your body is one of the greatest gifts the squat has to offer. Gaining back that sense of freedom through better balance was empowering, but another change soon caught my attention. My legs no longer felt heavy at the end of the day, and the swelling in my ankles that I used to accept as normal after sitting for hours started to fade. That's when I realized the squat was doing more than strengthening and stabilizing, it was improving circulation. When we spend most of our time in chairs, blood flow slows down in the lower body. Fluids collect in the feet and ankles, leaving them swollen, tired, or even painful. This is especially common for people over 50 who spend long hours at a desk behind the wheel or watching TV. The deep squat changes that equation. By dropping into this position, you're naturally compressing and releasing the lower body. That movement acts like a pump, pushing blood and lymph fluid back toward the heart, clearing out stagnation and refreshing the system. For me, the difference was noticeable after just a couple of weeks. No more cold toes in the evening. No more dragging sensation in my calves. I felt lighter, as if my legs were carrying me instead of weighing me down. That renewed circulation didn't just affect my lower body, it gave me more energy throughout the day. For older adults in the United States and Canada, where long commutes and sedentary lifestyles are common, this small daily practice can be a game changer. It's not a pill, not a machine, not compression socks. It's your body doing what it was designed to do. And once you feel that fresh flow of energy in your legs, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. After noticing how circulation improved and the heaviness in my legs faded, I realized the squat was also transforming something even more fundamental, my posture. Years of sitting at desks, hunching over laptops, and leaning into car seats had gradually reshaped my spine. My shoulders rounded forward, my chest tightened, and that nagging ache in my lower back became a constant reminder that my body was out of alignment. Like many people over 50, I thought this was just an unavoidable part of aging, but the squat began to prove otherwise. Each time I dropped into a deep resting squat, my body naturally stacked itself the way it was meant to. My pelvis tilted forward, my spine lengthened, my chest lifted, and my shoulders pulled back without me forcing them. It wasn't a stretch or an adjustment, it was my body remembering its original blueprint. Within the first week, I caught myself standing taller. That subtle forward slump I carried for years began to ease. Even sitting at my desk, I noticed I wasn't collapsing inward as much. There's a reason experts say the squat works like passive spinal decompression. Instead of slouching or relying on a chair for support, your body uses its own muscles to hold proper alignment. The more I practiced, the less tension I felt in my lower back and the easier it became to breathe deeply. With posture, restored energy flowed more freely, and I carried myself with a confidence I hadn't felt in years. For those in Canada or the United States who spend hours hunched over phones or screens, this small daily practice can feel like a free chiropractic session. Standing tall isn't just about looking younger, it's about reclaiming strength, energy, and dignity in how you move through the world. Standing taller and breathing more freely was already life-changing, but the squat had another hidden benefit I never expected. It was quietly strengthening my pelvic floor, the deep group of muscles that most of us don't think about until something goes wrong. These muscles sit at the base of the core and control bladder, function, stability, posture, and even confidence in movement. Over time, with age, inactivity, or after childbirth, they weaken and the results can be embarrassing or limiting. Many people over 50 know what it's like to deal with small leaks, poor core strength, or a nagging sense of instability. When I practiced the deep squat daily, those muscles didn't just tighten, they engaged under natural pressure. Unlike crunches or awkward exercises, the squat lengthens and activates the pelvic floor at the same time. The change was subtle at first, but after a couple of weeks I noticed stronger control, steadier breathing, and more stability in everyday tasks like lifting groceries or bending down. Even my balance during longer walks felt more secure, as if my body had regained a foundation it had been missing for years. For women approaching or past menopause, this can mean greater comfort and independence. For men, it means stronger core support and renewed confidence in movement. And the best part is that it doesn't require any special devices or complicated routines. Just a few quiet minutes in a natural posture are enough to remind your deepest muscles how to work again. If you're in the United States or Canada and want to age with strength and dignity, don't overlook this benefit. The squat isn't just about legs and hips. It rebuilds stability from the ground up, giving you back control in the areas of life that matter most. ChatGPT said, regaining stability from the ground up set the stage for one more powerful transformation. My hips finally started to feel alive again. For years, I thought stiff hips were just part of getting older, something to tolerate as long as I could still get around. But deep squatting every day proved that tightness wasn't permanent. It was simply the result of decades spent locked into 90-degree angles on chairs, couches, and car seats. At first, dropping into the squat felt like pushing against a locked door. My hips resisted, my inner thighs burned, and my lower back complained. But little by little, the tension began to release. After 2 weeks, I noticed walking felt smoother, my stride lengthened, and getting down to tie my shoes didn't feel like a battle. Instead of moving like a rusty hinge, my hips began to glide again, opening in directions they hadn't in years. The science is clear. Strong, mobile hips are the foundation of almost every movement we do: standing, climbing stairs, bending, and protecting the lower back. When the hips lock up, the body compensates, often leading to pain elsewhere. By spending just a few minutes in a squat, you gently reintroduce full range of motion without forcing it. For anyone over 50 in the United States or Canada, where sitting dominates daily life, this change can mean the difference between struggling with every step or walking with ease. Imagine being able to garden without discomfort, hike with confidence, or simply get down on the floor to play with your grandchildren without hesitation. Restoring hip mobility isn't just about flexibility. It's about reclaiming the freedom to move through life with energy, strength, and joy. As my hips regained their freedom and my stride grew smoother, I began to understand the deeper truth behind this simple practice. The squat wasn't only restoring mobility and strength, it was investing in longevity. One study that struck me showed a direct link between the ability to sit down and stand up from the floor without using your hands and overall life expectancy. At first that sounded almost unbelievable, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. The ability to move in and out of the squat reflects balance, strength, coordination, and flexibility, the very qualities that keep us independent as we age. For many of us, over 50 independence is priceless. It means being able to pick up a grandchild without pain, to get up after a fall, without fear, to garden, travel, or simply enjoy daily life without needing constant help. The squat trains exactly those abilities. Each time you lower yourself down and rise back up, you're rehearsing the very skills that predict not just how long you'll live, but how well you'll live. Personally, after 30 days of squatting, I felt younger in a way no supplement or gadget had ever given me. I stood taller, moved easier, and trusted my body again. And that trust, that confidence in my own strength, was the clearest sign that this small daily habit was shaping my future. For anyone watching in the United States or Canada, the message is simple. Longevity doesn't come from something expensive or complicated. Sometimes it comes from returning to what our bodies were always meant to do. 5 minutes a day in a squat could be the quiet, powerful investment that keeps you moving freely for decades to come. We've covered a lot together, and by now the message is clear. The deep resting squat is far more than a simple posture. It restores stiff joints, brings back natural movement, builds strength without equipment, improves digestion, boosts circulation, corrects posture, strengthens the pelvic floor, unlocks hip mobility, sharpens balance, and even supports longevity. For those of us over 50, this isn't just a fitness trick, it's a lifeline back to independence, energy, and confidence in our own bodies. Think about what this means in daily life. No more struggling to stand up in the morning, no more fear of falling, no more feeling weighed down after a meal. Instead, imagine moving smoothly, walking with ease, picking up your grandkids, or enjoying your hobbies without the aches that once held you back. This is what just 5 minutes a day can unlock. And it doesn't cost a dime. No gym, no machines, no complicated routines, just you, your body, and a little time. But here's the real key: consistency. Start small. Even if it's 20 seconds today, then 30 tomorrow. Progress slowly and listen to your body. Over time, those seconds will grow into minutes, and those minutes into lasting change. Now, I'd love to hear from you. How long can you hold a squat right now? Try it while watching and drop your time in the comments below. Share your progress so we can cheer each other on. And if you want a full step-by-step guide on how to squat safely at any age, let me know in the comments too. Your body 10 years from now will thank you for starting today, so let's begin this journey together.